Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and this reading is for Friday, October 30th. Okay, so 3 cards to help us grow and evolve and whatever it is that we need to know for this day. And of course, as usual, I strive to make these readings timeless in the sense that I dive into spiritual law as much as I possibly can. Well, yeah, it's just kind of the way my brain goes. So pretty much you can count on something coming through like that every day. Okay, but so for today, Ace of Swords for the theme. Wow, that's beautiful. So, okay. So this card has to do with, of course, all new ideas. I don't know if you can see. There we go, without the glare. You see all the little, here. Oh yeah, you can see that. All the little symbols up here. Here's the infinity sign. You know, there's, oh, and then here's Mercury, of course, because it is about the mind and it is about communication. And then there's some like algebraic math equation down here. But just notice how it's all about the way the universe works within a type of divine order is pretty much the way I see this card. Now, traditionally, it can just be about really clear thinking, and you can see that here as well. It can also be about bringing through the truth. But it's all about, you know, breakthroughs and mental clarity and communicating from that place in a clear way. And then under the law of, you know, in spiritual law, when we communicate, you know, in alignment with spiritual law, what happens is that what we say becomes the same thing as what we do. So if you're having relationship problems with anyone who you're having to set a boundary with, because with the Seven of Wands reverse, this to me has to do with having trouble taking a stand, having trouble, you know, having a healthy boundary with someone. Now, that's just a part of life. And the challenge is how to do it in a clear way rather than, you know, beating somebody up or judging them harshly. And especially, you know, when it comes to our loved ones, our friends, and our, you know, children, of course. So what's helpful, I think, is to know that when your actions match your words, because the wands have all to do with actions. So when it comes in reverse, when the Seven of Wands especially comes in reversed, there could be somebody that's kind of like trying to knock you off a pedestal that they previously put you on, which, you know, it's not your fault that they did that, unless you colluded with them in some way. But most often, it's just a normal part of life. It's just a normal part of, you know, human relationship. So, or, you know, the way humans interact until they learn and grow. It's just it's a part of growing. So, but back to the, you know, your words and actions matching. Of course, when they do, then in that area of your life, you're in alignment with spiritual law. That is the spiritual meaning of communication. But if you're thinking of something new that's just come in, like maybe this could be some new awareness, because this is also, you know, you can see this is like an aha moment. This is a wonderful card to remind us to take notes when ideas come in, because often we forget, you know, something will come in a flash and then we get busy and it's like, wait, I remember something was really important. What was that? So write it down, of course, and I think that's part of what Chris Ann Donnelly, the creator of this deck, was trying to remind us here, or one of them anyways, is that she was trying to remind us of the importance of writing things down. So so there's that on that level, and then, like I said, the spiritual meaning of communication. So again, back to the Seven of Wands here. Well, as far as moving through your life with a healthy boundary, sometimes this card comes in when we're just overwhelmed and we feel like giving up. And we can also be feeling overly protective of our new ideas, which is probably a good thing to do if it's something new that you're creating. And you don't want to just put it out there and have somebody else judge it, because if it's in the early stages of inception, which is what this card is all about, because it's just an idea, it's just dropped in, it's not formed yet, it hasn't gone through the other tests. So you do want to protect yourself if that's the case. Other times this can just be feeling overly defensive because you're afraid of, if you bring out a new idea, what will people think, right? If you have gone through all the stages and your new idea is fully formed and you're just about ready to put it out there, this could be the breakthrough card that creates that, and this card, or that supports that. And this card could just be the message, as to, you don't need to resist so much. As long as the parameters are set in place in order to protect yourself, like if you need to understand copyright laws and, maybe forming an LLC or something like that, because the swords is all about legal and protection, things like that. But on just the most simple level, this tells me to protect yourself if you need to, but don't let it overwhelm you. Just get deeply in touch with knowing that, we are all truly protected in our love, and in our love, in the love state, we will get guidance as to how to protect ourselves physically, financially, emotionally, if need be. So this is a very powerful card. The Seven of Wands follows the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is all about public recognition. So then the Seven of Wands comes in and it's like, oh my goodness, can I handle all this? There's so much coming at me. And you don't want to put yourself on a pedestal, and you don't want to also push people away, of course. But when she rolls in, she or he comes in reversed, there can be that need to protect yourself a little bit. But whatever you do, just don't give up. Don't give up. And especially because with the Eight of Wands coming afterwards, that has to do with a lot coming in. So get really clear on your priorities. Decide what it is that you want, and how you want things to come in, to your... This can be to block out negative messages. This can be to keep your channel clear through meditation and movement, and most of all, writing down those darn ideas when they come in, because they're going to come in. So you don't want to block that through getting distracted by feeling that you have to defend yourself on other levels. So if you need to take space to yourself, by all means, of course, do that. And I say that especially because with the hierophant reversed, well, I love it. Actually, I think that the hierophant is best served. It serves us the best reversed in the upright position. You can see with the artistry here, you can see the place where the light's up there at the top, with this tree, and of course this is ruled by Taurus. But he's laughing because he realizes, he finally got to the point where he realizes, no, the light's within me. Yeah, it's up there too. It's everywhere. There's no in, out, or up or down, or in the highest spiritual realms. There's no directionality. The light and the love is everywhere, and it's there's no in or out or up or down or right or left. And there are no harsh corners either. It's all, rounded and oval and swirling, and it's beautiful. So he got that message in meditation. He knows. So that's our reminder that we don't need a middleman to spirit. And I especially love that when it's reversed, because this tells me that you're not conforming to the status quo of like any church or organization or anybody that says you have to do things this way. This is finding your own way and being your own authority. It's really beautiful. It's everything to do with, well, it's Venus and Taurus, so it's everything to do with unifying. Venus unifies, so unification with yourself, your own inner authority. I'm just going to leave it upright. Actually, let's turn this one upright too. We can always turn things around once we get the message, right? So, with diving more into the hierophant, this usually has to do with all types of, belief systems and tradition and conforming, like I was saying. But when it's reversed, you're going to challenge that status quo and you're going to find your own inner authority. Unless you're feeling stuck. If it's reversed for that reason, that you're feeling stuck and you're trying to find your own authority, especially when things are overwhelming and there's a lot of energy, coming your way. This tells me, these two cards here tell me that the best way to handle that is to meditate, go inside, get your answers from within, and write them down. Sit and meditate with a big pad of paper on your lap. Take notes without even opening your eyes. Just kind of free scribble and write the best you can. And trust the images that come through as well, because you might not get words. You might get a math equation if you're so inclined, but oftentimes you'll get feelings and you'll get colors and you'll get however your channel works. And every channel, everyone has a specific way that their channel works, and for a specific time. Sometimes it'll work one way, and then as you grow, it'll work at a deeper way, and you'll have a different sensory organ open up for you. So that can be really beautiful, and it's a very personal process. It does entail removing yourself from any rules and just aligning with your highest self and the laws of love, the highest levels of spirit, not just any old spirit, not just spirit. It needs to be the highest levels of love and light. And that would create the healthy boundary that might otherwise make you afraid. Some people are afraid to open up to the spiritual realm because they just don't know the exact steps. And the exact steps are very simple. You want to just open up to the highest realms of love and light. And you set that boundary. And then you can open further, and then you will find your own authority. And, just to know that your guides, your higher self, you're already hooked up to that place. So there's no need to defend against it at all. Once you have set the boundary with your conscious intention, then energy will wrap around your intention, and the universe is bound by law to receive you. So just know that, and just go there. Let yourself go there. So, okay, let me see if I can find anything else to say. Yeah, if the reversal has to do with a relationship, then by all means, take your space until you can find that clear place. Because you don't want to give yourself away, and you don't want to hurt them or push them away, unless, well, and I don't see any cards, but if I were to draw more cards around that, if something more negative were to come through, then I would say, yeah, you do need to set a really strong boundary. But that's okay. You can take your time, find your words that you want to communicate, whether it's by, text, email, or spoken word, and then you can set your boundary. If that's, the case for some of you. Because for many of us, well, actually, I think on the spiritual path, boundaries are one of the most important things, but they are especially up at this time. So, okay, well, I think that's it. I invite your questions or comments if I haven't, spoken enough about this, or you see some new insight that I missed. I love extra sets of eyes. And I appreciate you all. Okay, thanks, you guys. Take care.